Many of Pope Francis's messages were for the youth. He sees them as the hope of a better future, not just for the Catholic Church, but for the world. With us today is JC Libiran, who attended the Pope's meeting with families, and Paolo Gallia, who was at the Plaza de Roma when the Pope led a Mass at the Manila Cathedral. They're also both youth leaders of the Light of Jesus family, a Catholic charismatic community. Hi, JC. Hi, Paolo. Good afternoon to you guys.
Hi, good afternoon.
Okay, you were both at the UST event as well. Now, tell us, how was it meeting the Pope and seeing him in the flesh? What was it like? I've heard stories about it was being a kind of euphoric feeling. How was it for you?
Actually, till now, I cannot really put everything into words, and it was really a blessed event. Experience, an encounter. The first time that I saw him entering the university, and I was already feeling that I'm already touched. I'm already feeling Christ and His love, His mercy, and His compassion.
You were closest to the Pope at the MOA Arena.
Yes, no, actually at the Mall of Asia Arena, we were really at the top level. So I wasn't able really to have that close glimpse. But through the monitors, through the streaming, I was able to listen to his message.
What about you, Paula? How was the Francis effect for you?
The Francis effect, well, it was really a surreal experience. We were, at the UST event, we were almost at the front rows. We're 4 rows, I think, from the front, behind the people with disabilities. And just seeing him on stage was really, you feel just God's anointing through the Pope, and his grace, his love. Every time I saw him in Manila Cathedral outside. We were waiting, and it just felt light. It made my heart feel light. It made my whole the aura that the Pope just expresses and exudes is just lightness and love and. Amazing. It's just an amazing encounter.
And in all those events, at those papal gatherings, the energy of the crowd, how was it?
You can really feel the energy of the crowd, and particularly their joy. I think that's what matters most. They're all awaiting for him, and then during the time that they had an experience to see him, you already feel that they have that happiness that they can explain.
And you felt like a kind of oneness amongst the millions.
Yes. And the guards, the policemen, even the young people there, we just felt we were family.
Now that scene at the UST, an emotional moment with Glyzo Palomar, were you brought to tears? It was really, I saw people crying as well, and even here watching the TV screens, our people here were also brought to tears.
Definitely. It was really filled with emotions, and it's genuine. It was really genuine, the words that were said by that little girl, and totoong totoo eh. And it connected to everybody, not just to the young people, but the suffering especially when Pope Francis answered the question of the little girl. There was no answer really, but allowing us not to be afraid to weep and to cry.
And it was a question that many of us have asked before, right?
Yes.
Okay, now which among the Pope's message struck you the most? What was your favorite line? Let's begin with you, Paolo.
For me, it was almost at the end of his homily at the UST was, be a beggar, and it was, learn to love and learn how to be loved. Because at times, for me, I've been serving the youth for so many years. And sometimes when we think of being a beggar, it's being selfless. Yes, that's part of it. But it's also, I believe the Pope mentioned it in a way that we are called to ask for help. Not just giving help, not just serving all the time. We sometimes think na, kaya na natin to we can do this, we don't need any help. But we are also called to be beggars, especially beggars begging for the grace of God, begging for the mercy of the Lord, begging for help for other people, from mentors, from teachers, from leaders, and allowing us to be helped and be loved by the world and by Jesus, of course. So that was really the key message that I left, that stuck in my heart.
Also coming from yourself, being a youth leader and a social worker.
Yes.
What about you, JC?
In my case, it will be the suffering I really got to relate with that question because my wife and I, for 3 years, we've also been praying to have a baby, but we were not yet blessed. So I really feel that you cannot do away with suffering, but it's really how you carry it, and most especially knowing that you are not alone. That's why the message of Pope Francis telling that during your suffering, that's the time that God is with you even more, and not telling to yourself that this is the end, but actually it is where there's a new place of hope for you and for other people as well.
Well, how did you think the Pope's message in UST, how do you think it made an impact with the youth? What will be their takeaway from that?
I personally, I think, of course, knowing that the Pope has left, that 5-day visit, there's a lot of message, particularly in UST. It's now a challenge for the young people to carry this out. Of course, there were people that is inside the UST. There are also people that weren't able to be there, but we were blessed to be there. Now, it's our time to take it in our family, how we bring this message, this mercy and compassion in our school and in our youth ministry as well.
Okay, what about, there was a survey that said that more Filipinos are leaving the Catholic Church. Do you think this will bring any changes after the Pope's visit?
I think, yeah, definitely. I think it reignited the fire in young people's hearts, in every Filipino's hearts to see that this church is strong, that this church is solid, the Catholic Church is one, and the Catholic Church is a great leader in Pope Francis. And I think it just gives that hope to us that sometimes we lose hope that the church has so many issues, we see scandals all over, but we see now and we feel and we really genuinely experience that, no, the church still has hope. The church still allows you experience love and you experience mercy and compassion, which is the theme of the Papal Visit. And I think it gives us that, that spark, that fire again, that ang saya. We're ang saya dito sa simbahan. No,
We just hope it will last for a very long time, though.
We are praying for that. And I tweeted actually yesterday, the Pope Francis, please pray for us that this will actually last. Because that's the hard part. But hopefully with coming together, all families, all youth groups, all people coming together as one, we can do it.
This is now a challenge for us, youth ministers, the school, the parents, everyone who was able to experience this, now to translate it into
actual work.
In the actual work. And of course, always going back to the message. Now, once we forget it again, that it is really first being merciful and compassionate to oneself, and then how you express it to others.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today. Youth leaders Paulo Galia and JC Libiran. Newsday returns with a look at today's weather. Keep it here on 9TV.
Well, the rains brought by Tropical Storm Amang did not dampen the Francis effect at UST yesterday, where over 20,000 youth gathered to encounter the pontiff. I talked to one of the youth leaders there, and he told me why Pope Francis rocks his world. The rain is starting to come down pretty hard here in UST as Pope Francis has his encounter with the youth, but still people are here. No one has left. I'm with JC Libiran, who is the director of Campus Life and the author of Biyahe ni Juan. Why are you here? Why have you come and why are you willing to withstand all of this, JC?
I'm actually here because I'm excited not just to experience Pope Francis, but to experience Jesus in Pope Francis. And maybe that's also the reason why people are still here. It's already raining, but we're still lucky because this is UST and it's still not yet flooding. And I think that's something that is so great about the Filipino people, the young people, that their faith is not just rainproof, but it's also flood-proof.
That's a nice way of putting it. Now tell us about this book and how the messages in your book resonate with what Pope Francis is talking about.
What I love about the book that I've written, Biyahe ni Juan, it talks about journey, and I think this is all a spiritual journey with our Holy Father, and that, like I want to really say in the book, that God is always with us during these difficult moments, during our victories, and one thing is for sure, that our God is with us, and He will never leave us.
What does this mean for all of you? If there's one message that you can say this is bringing to the youth, the visit of Pope Francis, what would it be?
The visit of Pope Francis is a revival, a revolution for our young people. That is really an exciting time for our faith to be, alive. And it's not just a faith that we just know it, but a faith that does action, which is mercy and compassion. And the whole Papal visit will end this coming January 19. But the challenge now is how do we experience Jesus passing by in our life every day, in our family, in our workplace, in school, wherever we are. Jesus is passing by. It's not just Pope Francis, but we're always given that opportunity. Let's not waste that opportunity, and let's seize it.
All right, seize the day, and this is what everyone is doing right here in UST.
Bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those.